Welcome to Gloria's Gab Live. Today I have with me as my guest Carlos Martinez, the President and CEO of United Home Care, and Blanca Ceballos, who is their Community Relations Manager. Thank you both for coming. We are going to be talking about a great program they have, an intergenerational volunteer program. But before we start, if you don't mind, we're going to talk about our sponsor a little bit. South Florida PBS has been our sponsor for a long time. And I'm assuming you guys are members, right? Yeah. So once a month, you get this wonderful program that tells you all about the great programming going on that you can see on WXCL, WPBS, and then they have an allhealthtv.com. And they have some really interesting programs I've been enjoying. But I encourage you to become a member, become a Passport member, and you get all kind of extra benefits. And you'll not be sorry. So let's start. Who wants to? We have a little video. Do you want to start with the video?
Let's start with the video. Happy New Year.
Oh, yes. Happy New Year. And thank you for coming. Yes. Yes. You've been on the show before, so
It's good to be back.
It's good to have you back. Yeah. And then Blanca, I think, made a guest appearance.
I did.
Right.
But now she's here for the whole show. And you've got such a great program to share with us, so we're really happy about that. So we're going to start with a little video that you provided, just a short video, and then we'll talk about this new program. Okay? Take it away, Alex.
United Home Care began in 1974 as a United Way division dedicated to providing home health services to the underserved elderly and disabled of Miami-Dade.
Thank you for calling United Home Care.
Today, we operate independently of United Way, with 600 employees and volunteers serving over 3,000 clients. The services we offer are aimed at assisting individuals to age in place with security, purpose, and dignity in the comfort of their own home.
So we done? Okay. We couldn't hear the sound, so that's why we were asking if it was done.
Well, the video is a little a dated video. It references 600 employees. Today, we're at the cusp of breaking 1,000.
Oh, my goodness.
Employees. So we've had that growth, not only in staff, but also in the people that we serve.
Right.
But we're celebrating our 50th year this year.
That was exciting.
So it's a Jubilee celebration. And we're blessed to have been able to serve this community for 50 years.
Yeah, and we're blessed to have you. My goodness, and so many things you're doing. And I was so excited to hear about this intergenerational volunteer program. There's a mouthful.
Yes.
And I can't say that with my retainer on. So tell us about it, Blanca.
Sure. So we have a wonderful intergenerational volunteer program called AVUS Connect and AVUS Connect Tech Pals. And we have always had a volunteer program, but in 2020, during the COVID pandemic, we were inspired by youth that were approaching us to do more for the older adults that were isolated at home during the pandemic, to reach out to them. And we had a group of young volunteers from Belen Jesuit High School who came along and said, hey, we want to make phone calls. We want to connect. And so we started to revamp our volunteer program. And that has grown into a really wonderful program today that brings together both high school students, college students, adults, and older adults. And so we have an intergenerational platform where we could reach out to older adults, family caregivers, and be a source of friendship, provide friendship, assurance, teach them how to use technology, help them to troubleshoot technology. And so we're excited because just soon we're going to be distributing tablets, free tablets, and we're going to be helping them to get connectivity. And so this is going to be wonderful because now seniors who at one point may not have had, somebody's phone is ringing, but may not have had, say, a phone. Many of them have flip phones or wall phones, now have the opportunity to take this tablet and be able to see their volunteer and have that facial conversation, that virtual conversation.
Right. So, and your son, Sean,
Sean is one of the
one of our wonderful volunteers.
founders, and he brought along co-founders, friends of his class, senior class. Now they're a senior class. They started when they were, I believe, in 9th or 10th grade.
Is that right?
COVID. But the program has grown to other schools, and it's mushroomed. You know, he didn't want to start a not-for-profit, you know, and be involved with all the requirements for, you know, managing a not-for-profit. So he approached Blanca and Alina Palenzuela, and they discussed it, and they saw an opportunity to incorporate the youth with our existing older adult,
which is perfect.
It's
Yeah.
been running very good for various years. We have senior volunteers that have worked with us for a few years. They come from the AARP,
Right.
or the Urban League, and also Career Source. So those are the traditional volunteer platform that we had, and we incorporated the youth, mentored by Blanca,
Yeah.
and they've done a wonderful job. They've distributed hurricane shelf stable meals.
Oh, we
in
were
the
talking
underserved
about that.
community.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
we've done it in partnership with Florida Memorial University and Miami
Okay.
Gardens. They've partnered with the Thelma Gibson Health Initiative in
Right.
Coconut Grove, with Senator Rene Garcia in Hialeah,
He's great.
in District 13 of Miami-Dade. They've gone down to Florida City, and
The YMCA,
the
Village of
YMCA,
Alapata.
yeah,
You're mentioning all these people I
Yes,
love,
yes.
you know, that I've interacted with. This is
it's
wonderful.
all community partners
Yeah,
coming together.
they're great.
for a common cause, but incorporating the youth into the volunteer platform.
It
So
made it all that much better. Yeah.
And we've had great support from like FPL with the hurricane meals.
Oh, you were telling me about
the Florida
hurricane
Council
meals.
on Aging.
What did you tell me over the last 2 years? 15,000?
15,000 meals, individual meals. What the
Meals or kits for
Kits.
well,
like
the
with stuff?
kids have 3 meals for
Okay.
3 days.
Oh, okay.
Emergency management recommends that every individual be self-sustainable for 3
For 3 days until they can get help.
until emergency management can go into the communities. That makes it seniors are very vulnerable, right? Especially the ones that live in high rises, because the first thing that goes is the light and the elevators.
Yes.
And you can't expect
can't
for a
go
senior
up
to
and
come down
downstairs.
15 flights of floors
Yeah.
to come down to the lobby to pick up meals.
Right.
So the idea here is to deliver the meals before hurricane season.
Right.
And
So
then
they're,
they have
they're
those,
on hand.
they're on hand. They can have it in their closet, or they can have it in a space.
Mm-hmm.
They're shelf stable meals, so they don't require refrigeration.
Perfect.
And the meals brings water and the meals.
Mm-hmm.
And those were donated by FPL.
AFL. Yeah.
They do this throughout the state of Florida,
Oh, wow.
but in Miami-Dade County, they've partnered with us for the last 2 years, and it's been a very, very successful program. So
Yes.
thanks.
So
to-
many great things happening in our community. You
Yes.
just, you know, that so many people you don't know about. And
Right.
every time you come, you tell me about some other thing that you're involved in. And you really have a wonderful outreach. You're doing a great job,
And
Blanca.
we're
That's why you're so busy.
Just happy to engage, our high school volunteers during the summers as well.
Oh, yeah.
They help us to distribute these meals, and so they make our way with us to the different communities. And they learn to interface with older adults, and they learn about the importance about emergency preparedness. So we're excited about all of these opportunities that we're providing to youth and helping them to be advocates for older adults and a source of, support. And maybe as they grow into their future careers, they'll be thinking about careers as geriatricians, as social workers, counselors, and of course,
Oh, that's
always
just
keeping
another
seniors
added-
in mind.
Added benefit to that. But the other thing is just giving them a sense of community and something that will carry with them as they grow older.
Yes.
They'll be hooked on community service.
Yes.
Because that happens.
Yeah. And it's linking them with mentors.
Exactly.
So the elderly pals, right, that they're linked with, We try to pair them with people that have similar interests.
Right.
Like some kids that played sports, we try to put them with someone who
Has that background.
has that background or has an affinity with a particular sport, or if they like music or art. We do that, or language skills. So we have one of the youth volunteers that speaks Italian.
Yeah.
So she's paired with a lady that she's an Italian background, and they talk about many things in
That's
Italian.
great. But it gives
Yeah.
them the youngster an opportunity to practice and to keep her
Right.
Italian alive.
And it's a wonderful story because this particular volunteer and this older adult had been talking for almost a year by phone
Is that right?
or virtually. And the older adult would ask her, when are you going to come visit me? So finally I said, Anita, we're going to have to go visit. So we took a Sunday and we went to visit in Miami Beach.
Oh.
And, you think you know so much about people, but then we arrived and I heard them interchange and talking Italian. And it was a very special moment because this is a child who is learning to speak Italian in the public school system,
Right.
has never been to Italy, but they had that affinity. And what we learned was that this was a former model. And we had never known that, former
Wow.
Vogue model.
Oh, really?
Now in her 90s, living alone, and relies on social media to connect with the world around her. And so technology becomes important for older adults right now, being able to maintain that sociability, connect to the things they love. So she showed us her photos on Facebook. And so we had a wonderful time with her. But it wouldn't have happened without programs like this one.
Exactly. So this is just an example of somebody that might take advantage of the tablet program and teaching them the skill sets to use the technology.
How to post pictures, how to navigate, how to many through their health plans can have access to telehealth
Yes.
medicine.
But they need to have a tablet.
Yes.
They need to have a
Or
tablet. Correct.
something other than a
A
flip phone.
device, correct. The device that accept that. I think we've learned our lesson throughout the pandemic that, especially for seniors, connectivity is key. I have a personal anecdote. My dad went into a rehab center, and the day that he went to the rehab center, it was the second wave of COVID. And the day he went in, he was admitted, they implemented very strict guidelines where we can only visit him for 15 minutes behind a plate glass one time a week. And that was just absolutely terrible for my dad.
Yeah.
It was terrible for us, for the family. And through these tablet programs, we are empowering older adults because now they have a laptop, at least a laptop or a device that they can have
that
in their
allows
home
them to connect.
that would allow them to still have some connectivity to the outside world.
Yeah.
So I think, this program is very key.
Yeah. Well, your situation, I was in a place because I broke my hip and I had to be in a rehab hospital for like a week or so. And they didn't allow any visitors at all. And I'm fine. I've got my kids, whatever. I call, I could see them. I was at a window and I could look down the parking lot and see them and wave but there were older people there. And to your point, if you have a flip phone and you're in a place and nobody can talk to you, that had to be just extremely hard for them. So I commend you on this program. This is just amazing. Just teaching adults the technology it opens a whole world that,
Absolutely.
that they didn't even know they were missing.
Yes. And, it's everything. When we talk to them by phone, we try to teach them to use FaceTime so that we can see them, right? Or we'll send a text message and encourage them to learn to look at text, right? And to write back. or for those that don't have an email address, helping them to establish an email address. So things like that as well.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But we were blessed this year. We received a grant from the National Community Care Corps grant for almost $180,000 that'll be
I read that. That was
available for the next 18 months. And through that grant, we are going to be recruiting volunteers. So we hope that people listening to this program today that have a college student or an adult that would like to join us and help us to distribute tablets and teach technology would reach out to us, and we'd be happy to engage them and connect them with an older adult, and they could help us to carry out this work.
Well, that's just a great opportunity for any kid.
We provide
But for
community
adults, too.
service
But
hours.
you-
So that's a
Absolutely.
great thing.
We can use adults too. We can use
Absolutely. We
retirees.
encourage retirees.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, but so many people when they retire think, "Oh, I'm going to do all this stuff," and then they find it's not as satisfying as they
Right.
hoped it would be.
Definitely. We
And,
welcome retirees.
Yeah, and giving back the community. We're talking about that. That's kind of a. But sometimes people get even more active in volunteering after they've retired because they realize they need to do something productive with their lives and not just exist.
It's very rewarding.
So you were telling me you got some big award, right?
So the program was designated as a program of distinction by Generations United, which is a Washington, D.C. based organization that promotes intergenerational volunteer programs throughout the nation. And every year they select, they're usually municipalities or school systems. So we're blessed to be a private not-for-profit that was nominated and designated with this award.
So, yeah, we competed with many organizations around the country, and we got a certification of a volunteer program of distinction, which
Wow.
is great because
That's
it really
huge.
is a testament to all the work that we've been doing to grow the AVUS Connect program. So we're super excited about that.
Yeah, well, you should be. I can't think of a better way to connect the generations in a positive way, and and this is something that's going to impact these kids for the rest of their lives because they'll always remember
Right.
how it started.
You know, when before this volunteer program, before we contemplated on incorporating the youth, one of the challenges that we have as an organization representing older adults is we cannot get busloads of older adults and travel to Tallahassee to advocate because
Right.
they can endure the trip, right?
Exactly.
But it makes it easier for us to be able to take younger adults and high school kids to Tallahassee and have them meet legislators and tell them, I'm here not for myself, but I'm here for my grandmom or my granddad.
Right.
And this is what I need from you. And by the way, I'm 18 years old, so I'm going to be voting for the next 70 years. Right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm going to be a constituent for the next 70 years.
So that has
That's very impactful.
I was going to say it's very impactful. So but for the kids, what a great experience just to be able to go up and lobby as a high school kid.
They get involved in grassroots efforts. So, like I mentioned, we've partnered up with Senator Garcia. We've done for the last 3 years. We've been doing things in the communities, and they have access to him.
Yeah,
they learn.
He's awesome.
He's
such a good guy.
He's a phenomenal.
He's got a big heart.
Phenomenal individual and great professional.
Yeah.
But the kids love to interact with him and others that we've invited and brought over.
And we give them an opportunity to meet our executive management team and learn about how they got to their position, what schools they went to, what were the challenges in education, in family, and how to persevere to develop a career and to seek those opportunities out.
They really enjoy that. So they all ask me, so how did you become the CEO, and I enjoy telling them from my humble upbringing to my high school days at Miami-Jackson Senior High, and then to Miami-Dade, and then how I became a CPA, how I traveled the world, and how I landed, how I
Ended up.
ended up in the not-for-profit world, and how fulfilling it has been for me.
Yeah.
So they really enjoy that, and it motivates them, right? Because they can see that if someone like him, I didn't come from a privileged background.
Right.
So they say if someone like him can do it, I can do it,
Exactly.
right?
Yes.
So that's, and we all of our executives, we're blessed to have executives that all have very, very impressive backgrounds.
Stories. And,
We have one that came as our COO came through the Peter Pan program when he was 7 years old.
Wow.
Can you imagine
Alone without his
without his parents? Can you imagine leaving
My
your
daughter's godfather and the kid, his brother and sister, same way, Peter Pan, and they ended up in Tampa, the St. Pete area.
So these kids are like,
And they
you what?
all,
You left your mom and dad at 7 years old?
Yep.
It's surreal.
and they're all like huge leaders now. I mean, when I follow all the people that I know that were in that Pedro Pan, and even the Bay of Pigs people,
Right.
whom I came to know later, everybody that I knew at the that I came to know at the university, they were working on their MBAs or their PhDs and whatever, and they're all leaders of the community now. So
Right. So you mentioned the
pretty
Bay of
interesting.
Pigs. Bill Muir was instrumental in practicing with the kids on
yeah.
what to say, what to ask, how to interact with an older adult.
really, yeah.
So he acted as our guinea pig, I guess.
Yeah. So initially, when you come into AVUS Connect, before we assign you to one of our clients, which could be an older adult, a disabled adult, or even a family caregiver, we want you to practice. So Bill Muir, who was a veteran of the Bay of Pigs and was a prisoner of war,
Yeah.
did a virtual call with the students. And so he would encourage them to talk, get them comfortable talking, and he's been a great volunteer for the program.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. So, one of the other aspects of your business, this nonprofit that helps so many people in our community, is hiring people
Yes.
and educating them. And you have a unique program that you can train people for the positions. And tell us about that.
So in the last show, we
talked about that.
talked about that. It's been a very successful program. We basically did it out of need during the pandemic. All industries are still going through a staffing shortage.
Right.
So this program is meant to train caregivers or people that want to step into the field. The training is free of charge. Usually a training course like this costs about $400, $450, and it requires some time to be invested. In our case, we do the course free of charge, and we hire them right at the end of the course.
They already have a job.
So by Friday of the week that they start, they have a job, and they can work as many hours as they want, 40 hours. We pay weekly. We pay livable wages. We pay them $15 an hour. We provide them with a 401k where we match
Wow.
up to 4%. We provide them with all the equipment that they need: gloves, masks, back braces.
Right.
And they join our family. I mean, we're truly a big family. All of our employees are employees. We have no independent contract.
Wow.
So, like I said, we have about 950 employees. Around 845 are home health aides that work
Really?
not only in Miami-Dade, because we purchased a home care agency in Broward
Oh, did you?
County
Oh, okay.
late last year, and we have already about 100 employees in Broward County. So,
That's great.
So we're also
You're
growing.
all over the place.
We're growing. We're going methodically, but we're taking very solid steps forward.
Yeah. Well, they're lucky to have both of you.
And as you
running
know,
this.
that this industry is so important because in order for people to be able to live at home, they need help at home, and that means home health aides. So we encourage anyone who is interested in working with older adults to call us and explore this opportunity.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of people there around that don't know about the opportunities in the field, and that can qualify and enter your program and get a job. So there's actually unemployment is very low in in Miami per se, but so I understand how hard it is. But the idea that you can get an education and get a job right away, that's got to be a godsend for many people.
If many people are tasked with caregiving, sometimes caregiving is forced on you. It's not something that's optional.
Exactly.
Right. You have a older adult
Parent, a loved
parent
one.
or someone, and all of a sudden you have to leave your job, your profession, to
Exactly.
take care of them. But if you don't have training, you can end up actually hurting them, right, inadvertently. So if someone wants to get some tips on how to handle certain situations, we also have a video library at our a resource,
Really.
or you can get special training from our nursing staff.
So where would
on a
they go
particular-
to?
They'll come
Online?
to our main office in Doral,
Oh, okay.
and
Do you need to make an appointment?
yeah,
How
you
would
make an
somebody go
appointment.
about that?
You make an appointment. You
Yeah.
discuss what areas you have concerns with.
Because I know people that have that are dealing with progressive diseases, that ultimately leave them disabled. And if you're a caregiver for that kind of person, they could come into your office or call and make an appointment to
Right.
Sure.
just get some help.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then we try to
ultimately
link,
maybe-
we try to link them also with resources, especially respite services, so that they can also take some time off
Yes,
to
Right.
take care of themselves. It's very important for the
That's
caregiver to
important.
take care of themselves.
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have two people that are burned out.
right.
Right. We are a resource to the community with everything that's older adult related, whether it's nutrition, meals, caregiver support, training, case management, disease management.
Well, I've heard of people that are on a lot of medications. Is that something that your people would do? Would they go in and say, let's just review all the medications you're taking and see if maybe some of these are overlapping or shouldn't be taken together, that kind of stuff?
Our case managers do that.
Do that?
So they do take a list of the medications. Also, that comes in handy if somebody has to go to the hospital. Sometimes the family doesn't know what medication their loved one is taking.
Right.
So if they call us and say, I had to take Rush grandmother or mom to the hospital, I don't know what medications they're taking.
Yeah.
We have that
Oh,
documentation
that's great
on
research.
file. So
I'm told that we're almost out of time. And so I thank you both so much for coming. And I'm so excited about your program.
Gloria, I'd love to leave people with a phone number to call.
Oh, please do.
So yeah, for
What
any
number?
of these things that we've talked about today, volunteerism, caregiver support, visiting our library, or even application assistance to some of these public programs, we'd be happy to help.
Okay, so
and
the
the
number?
number to call is 305-716-0710.
716-0710.
And
right.
Okay.
And if there's a young person out there and you want to know more about AVUS Connect, go to www.avusconnect.org.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, guys. Again, thank you, South Florida PBS, for sponsoring this show week after week. We love you and we appreciate all the things you do for our community and all the wonderful opportunities that we have, even getting healthcare information for free on allhealthtv.com. So until next week, have a good day.
Thank you.